On September 14th and 15th of 2022, the 7th Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions took place in the conference hall of the Palace of Independence in the capital of Kazakhstan in Central Asia. Heads of every religion around the world were in attendance: Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, etc., all coming together in the spirit of peace and unity. That all sounds good and nice, but what's really the intention of this meeting? The Congress is held once every 3 years in the same place, starting in 2003 in direct reaction to the events of 9/11, first focusing on countering terrorism and extremism issues. This year, Pope Francis, head of the Roman Catholic Church, attended in person and delivered the keynote message. Although his motto for the event was peace and unity, the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ, was never mentioned. And it seems that the Pope, the supposed head of Christendom, is more concerned with uniting with other religions rather than uniting in Christ as the Bible teaches. Is Pope Francis laying the groundwork for the emergence of a one-world religion? The crux of the United Nations one world order is global control, in part through a new world religion. As Robert Mueller, the former Assistant Secretary General of the UN, says, quote, "Was it not inevitable that the UN would sooner or later also acquire a spiritual dimension? What the world needs today is a convergence of the different religions, in the search for and definition of the cosmic or divine laws which ought to regulate our behavior on this planet. My religion, my nations, must be abandoned forever in the planetary age." In the opening of the Congress, the final declaration was read aloud by Joe Bailey Wells, a bishop of the Anglican Church of England. Aside from direct calls to address climate change, economic inequality, and various social justice issues, the declaration states that the Congress is, quote, "guided by our shared desire for a just, peaceful, secure, and prosperous world," bringing to mind 1 Thessalonians 5:3, which warns, "When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them." The opening statement also calls for the, quote, "necessity for spiritual and political leaders to work together in addressing the challenges of our world." This idea of merging the church and state is also brought to light in Pope Francis's speech when he says, quote, "There is a healthy connection between politics and transcendence, a sound form of coexistence that keeps their spheres distinct but not confused or separate." Transcendence is a word he uses in place of religion, and later in the speech he even defines transcendence as, quote, "the beyond worship," suggesting that all religions are at root worshiping the same thing, regardless of where their faith lies. He goes on to say, quote, "Transcendence, for its part, must not yield to the temptation to turn into power," further pushing the church and state into unity. Quote, "No then to confusion between politics and transcendence, but no also to their separation." Just like ancient Babylon, the early Roman Church was both a church and state power, religious and political, and it was also a conglomerate of various pagan belief systems, before it ultimately merged with Christianity. Is Pope Francis trying to lead religions of the world into a merger with the Roman Church? In his speech, he clearly states, quote, "Our human family cannot advance if simultaneously united and divided, interconnected and torn apart. The Catholic Church believes in the unity of the human family." Based on what he says, it seems he does want to unite the religions of the world under the banner of Catholicism. Pope Francis began his reign by expressing a desire for unity with the Eastern Orthodox, the Anglicans, and many other Protestant denominations, claiming, quote, "Brothers and sisters, Martin Luther's protest is over. Is yours?" Then Pope Francis began courting Muslims later in his reign, Quote, "To Muslims who worship the one God, I see a tangible sign of the will to grow in mutual esteem and cooperation for the common good of humanity. This common good phrase is the true heart of the papacy, hidden in plain sight, not the divinity of Jesus Christ. That's why the Pope can be seen wearing ancient pagan symbols from around the world, because his goal is unity of religions under the Catholic Church. Catholic, which means universal. This goal is made clear by Alice A. Bailey, the prophetess of the UN. Quote, "There will not be any dissociation between the universal church, the sacred lodge of all true Masons, and the inner circles of the esoteric societies. In this way, the goals and work of the United Nations shall be solidified, and a new church of God led by all religions and by all the spiritual groups shall put an end to the great heresy of separateness. Although 2 Corinthians states, quote, 'Come out from among them and be separate.'" Alice A. Bailey further states, quote, "Then there will be neither Christian nor heathen, neither Jew nor Gentile, but simply one great body of believers, gathered out of all the current religions." Prophetically, the Bible clearly teaches that there will be some kind of universal religion, a beast system, that enforces a mark used to buy and sell, and that this beast will be led by a political religious leader that requires worship for your personal survival. This Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions led by Pope Francis is a step in the direction of a new world religion. There's no question about that. The only question left is, will you be ready to avert its deception and stand up to the beast and its mark through the power of Jesus Christ? This is Brian Wilson with Infowars.com.
Taking advantage of one of nature's most nutrient-dense ingredients, Vasobeat will be your new favorite InfoWars life formula. Using only water and beetroot, Vasobeat is the most concentrated liquid extract of beet on the market. With concentrated beet extract, you can get the high levels of betaine, nitrates, and antioxidants you want to help support a healthy liver, athletic performance, blood vessels, and more. Don't overlook the power of beetroot. Get your naturally occurring potassium, folate, vitamin C, iron, selenium, zinc, vitamin K, and more. With one of nature's greatest treasures in Vasobeat from InfoWars Life today.